stuff, don't you?
That was musical agony. So nothing of...
This is one guy who's got some serious style.
When I was in England, every restaurant has this thing called shepherd's pie. Are you a big shepherd's pie eater?
Yes, I'm a big shepherd's pie eater. Are you a big James Bond fan?
He'd run out of clean underwear the week before.
Have you made it with like 4 and 5 in a day? Just...
We've got lawyers. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's called Millennium. It's huge. What's the difference between American and English movies? I'm a great believer in give them what they want. He's even got style to spare.
Robbie was just telling the story about how he was kidnapped by Elton John and taken.
Ladies and gentlemen, joined to my left by Robbie Williams.
America has been like a bit of a playground for me because for the last couple of years I've not been really well in myself, you know, tremendously insecure and afraid of stuff, and with the whole fame thing and how it makes you feel and what it makes you do and how people relate to you and how you relate to people, and you isolate, you know, you become very isolated. And going to America, everything's been new. It's been like, finding myself again, finding my feet. I should be in.
You should be.
Well, if you're travel personnel on it, you can.
I can't be, can't I? I don't pay for it, do I?
Yeah.
Do I pay for it? How do I pay for it?
Cash?
No, how do I pay for it? Do I pay
Well,
for it?
this is your tool, so you're paying for this trip, yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm fine in business. To tell you the truth, I was just glad to get out of Britain, to get out of Europe, and to go to a place where nobody knew me, and to go to America, to see things that, you know, I saw on the telly when I was growing up.
I think a lot of British artists look at coming to America and breaking America like it just might happen overnight, or, you know, you can conquer this huge country. But to them it's very exciting and exotic. But it takes more than just print magazines and weeklies and newspapers and creating that little hype that starts right when the bands come over. But it's about, you know, really getting into the consumer with radio and video.
Over the last 10 years, there hasn't been an incredible take-up of English artists by American record labels. In the 70s and 80s, when there were a larger proportion of English music in the American charts, there was a constant interaction between labels. And I think, to a degree, that mechanism has rusted up a little bit.
I think one has to be respectful that both marketplaces are uniquely different. We may share a common language to a large extent, but they are different marketplaces musically, both what people are used to listening to, what people respond to, in numerous different ways. What's critical to break both of those markets is an understanding and a respect for those differences. It's a great market for selling records because of its size, which enables it to have hundreds of different niches. So America is not sort of like, well, you have to be a certain type of artist to be successful.
Hi, Robbie.
Hi, mate. How's it going?
Can I get a picture with you?
The fact is, it was to go to the States. I'm obviously working, you know, I'm obviously promoting a record and talking about myself. And for a man that's really obsessed with himself anyway, it was not doing my head any good. But I was enjoying, and still am enjoying, just going to America. And singing really gets in the way of me. You know, it's like golf spoils a good walk. Me singing is just spoiling me touring around America, looking at stuff.
First, it's just exciting to come over and to start to play music in front of a New York crowd or an LA crowd, but you also have to play in front of the crowd in Cleveland and Denver and all those places where there isn't as much, it's not as urban, and you don't have as many people that read British magazines and stuff, so you're playing to a room full of 40 people, and that can be a very humbling experience.
The challenge this year for me was actually just to turn up and do stuff and get used to the fact that I'm successful and get used to the fact that people are buying my records and get used to the fact that I'm just a very well-known celebrity.
I think the reason for his success is that he is an all-round entertainer. It's been said so many times, it's almost become a cliche, but there are very few artists who fall into that category. You have great performers, you have great songwriters, and I think in Rob, you've got both those things.
He is very English. He's, you know, he's not a watered-down Brit trying to be successful in America. As much as he's aware of America and desires of being successful in America, he is going to be successful on his own terms. And his lyrics, you know, are uniquely English. And his songs are uniquely English, and his musical structure and his backing is uniquely English. There is nobody else like Rob in this marketplace.
They've said Rick Astley again.
Who did? Rob Sheffield said that?
Yeah. Robbie has the sweet voice you'd expect from a dumber guy. Does that mean I'm intelligent then?
Yes.
Okay. Perception is half of the battle over there. You know, you know, I'm quite happy to be hyped. I can back it up, do you know what I mean? So whatever they say about me, or whatever they're doing, or whatever the publicity machine's rolling, you know what I mean? It's a business. So hype me as much as you like. It says, the ego has landed, is smartly crafted, hormonally charged, utterly content-free, boy preen, that even grown-ups can flip for. Hello, Yellow Brick Road.
It's hot.
That's really sweet. Send them a bouquet of flowers from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The following contains a breaking new artist you'll need to know on a first-name basis may prove unsuitable for unadventurous viewers.
It seems like, right or wrong, a lot of people look at MTV and they sort of like, it's like the sign of success or something like that. It's because it's a national radio station almost. If you're one radio station and you play a record and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you really get behind something, it's only one radio station. But all of a sudden the stakes go so much higher because it's at a national level. And every shot you take, people look at you. And you better be right, because there's a lot of other record companies, a lot of other artists who want to get that shot. So if you're wrong, they let you know about it big time.
Saturday night summer, all nights and better than a suburban. All right.
Hi, Robbie Williams.
Hi.
I'm Deb, the producer of the show.
Hi,
How
Deb.
you
What's your
doing?
second name?
Savo.
Hi, Deb Sabo.
Nice to meet you,
Pleased
Robbie
to
Williams.
meet you.
Thank you for coming on today.
Pleasure. Thank
We're
you
just
very
going to
much.
ask you some fun questions, talk about the video, show it in the monitor.
Okay, I'll just warn you.
Yes.
I've got this little wind-up that I'm doing.
A wind-up doll?
Carson.
You brought a doll?
No. No, I'm just going to say, have you seen the front cover of the Rolling Stones? I've really got to go out with this chick. I really fancy her. She's gorgeous. What do you think he'll do?
He's kind of, well, to be honest with you, sometimes he's a little weird about stuff like that.
Is
but
he?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I think MTV is really concerned with an artist that has great visuals, that has a really huge personality, which Rob does. I mean, to them, they're not going to put the shoegazer bands on the air. It doesn't make sense. Whereas someone like him can sell his songs. He does great videos. He's funny. You put him on the air for a news segment, he'll say 2 really funny things, and it just suits their medium.
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
The hook is you just got to see him. You got to see his personality. You got to hear his music. You got to see his the way he is in videos. They always say to be like truly a big rock star that you got to be him. You got to want to be him, or you got to want to fuck him.
Cute kids.
Hey, I was going to play this chick on you, but I'm not going to.
Oh, you can.
But
you gonna light something on fire? That's cool.
No.
But
I'm not going to.
Oh, wow! Where'd you get that?
Do you want it? It's out in like a week. I was going to say I really fancy this girl.
Oh, great.
That blah 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 blah. But I'm not going to.
You know, I was here the day she did the photo shoot. My grandmother died that day.
Really?
So this makes me almost want to cry.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. No, it's true, but I'm
Okay.
over it. It's
Right.
fine.
There's a total request. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Carson Daly. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined to my left by Robbie Williams. Let me explain what's going on. Robbie Williams is in a group called Take That, which was like the Backstreet Boys of UK. Very, very successful. He's gone solo. He's an international love star. His music is genuinely amazing, literally amazing. Robbie, it's good to have you here. Of course, I work at MTV, and I know all about your record, The Ego Has Landed, which is out today, which you guys have to go get. There's this incredible talk about Robbie Williams around the building. You're doing a little North American tour now.
Yeah, it's incredible talk around the building, but it just needs to go out there now.
What people need to understand at home is that Robbie Williams is huge, 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 huge. We sort of had this deal with the Corrs when they were on the show.
Please don't think of me. If you do, you gotta block it. I got chills tonight, and you can't be here to stop it. I'm not a parasite. It's just a lonely night tonight. I walk from the bar.
The big thing about America is the commitment in terms of, months of your life spent doing promotion and touring. And I think if you look at all the artists that broke in the 80s, there were people that virtually set up camp in America. U2 are a very good example of a band who looked at, realistically how you could break America. I think a lot of people haven't been prepared to do that much work, and that's a big factor in whether you succeed or not in North America.
I hate today. I hate being here. I hate everything. But the money is fantastic, so I'll stay. That's good, actually. And everybody in America mistakes me for Robin Williams. Well, I'm not him. He was in Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm just in debt.
To attack this country effectively takes a tremendous amount of time. You can't just play London over and over again and know that you're going to have the media support that you need. You know, there's New York and Los Angeles, which are obviously, you know, 3,000 miles apart, and there are other significant markets, you know, Atlanta and San Francisco and Miami and Chicago, and that you need to visit all of those places with some frequency to get the support of the industry.
We want us to grow up, but we don't want to get a job. We all need a decent rock where it's all kicking out. Baby, it's alright. Baby, it's alright. You don't need to cause a fuss. Baby, it's alright. Baby, it's alright. It's only us.
He should take the year off in England and devote his entire rest of the year here. I remember reading an article a long time ago where Bono had a discussion with Ian McCulloch and said, listen, and Bono's like, listen, we're going to break America, we're going to tour, we're going to play every nook and cranny. And Ian McCulloch's like, bollocks, man, you know, we're not doing that or whatever. And last time I checked, U2 was pretty gigantic here, internationally, everywhere else, and Echo and the Bunnymen, one of the great rock bands of all time, but ultimately, you know, a great rock band, not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band.
Hi kids, do you like violence? Would you like to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids? Wanna copy me and do exactly like I did? Try sit and fuck up worse than I lied with? And Phil said, wait.
Robbie Williams, you're quite clearly a baser.
And on.
Oh, what's your baser, man? Your baser.
I race and wait, I'm trying to get my head straight, cause you can't figure out which Spice Girl I wanna fuck. My name is. Thank you very, very much, and good evening.
Hello? Hi, mate. You've missed loads of mischief.
Oh, mate, how are you?
I'm great. You sound pissed off.
Have you been up to anything?
I've got a camera on me right now, John, so...
Oh.
I've got a camera on me. You're on speakerphone.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Jones.
So I just thought... But I've been a good boy.
Have you? Good lad.
Yeah, I had a colonic yesterday.
Yeah, what?
A colonic.
What's wrong with that?
Do you not know what a colonic is?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Let's explain this to somebody in England.
Right.
Remind me, I'll probably know.
All right. You have a hose shoved up your arse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a hose shoved up your arse and then they clean out your intestines.
You're right, boss. Tell me what one is.
This is the truth.
Is it?
Yeah. That's what I did yesterday.
Oh, any good?
No, mate, it's wrong. It's buggery. I've relatively done, considering what I could be doing in America, very little. Fortunately, I have fantastic management that I go, look, I don't do all that shit. Can you just give me the cream? I'll do that. It's a case of, just give me the cream, because I'm not going to go and work in shitholes. I don't want to go and do that, you know. And if it works, then great. If it doesn't, fine. This is the second trip that we've made out. The first one was like a 7-weeker. And this is the third day of the second trip. And it's funny because the 7-week one, the 7-week trip that we did, I felt really, really confident that it was going to make it. I'm going to make it here. And it's funny now because I don't feel that way on this trip. I feel really insignificant and very small. And I don't know why. Probably just a phase I'm going through. But there you go.
Guta guta solo.
And 300 years old you'll be. Look this good you won't.
I have to admit, that's the only Star Wars speak that I know.
No, well, I can do Alec Guinness as well.
Oh, you can?
These are not the drugs you're looking for. Go ahead with your business.
There you go.
Okay, Robbie, we just saw Angels. Now,
You know, I think that there's a bit of an adjustment for anybody in his position to come to a territory where you're not known. There's a psychological adjustment to make. And I don't know if it's a relief to walk out the door of the hotel and have nobody standing there looking for an autograph, or whether that's your heart sinks a little bit. You know, I think there's an emotional response that's completely human and natural that if you have had the experience that he's had for the last couple of years in the UK, that it would be a little bit daunting that nobody knows who I am and nobody really cares.
Now, you've been described by many, many magazines as the bad boy of Britain, so obviously you are no Jedi Knight.
This is silly.
He has to carry this. You know, he is the front person. Try and put yourself in somebody who every morning they wake up, whatever happens, you know, if they're doing promotion, they've got to be that character. It is a constant pressure that must nag at you. You know, I can empathize with those days when he just doesn't want to do interviews.
So, having been through the teen idol craze, what kind of advice would you offer guys like AJ and Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys?
Before going on stage after having a blowjob off one of your fans, make sure you wipe your cock on the curtain.
Oh my God, no! Stop, T.
Can we not say that?
No, sorry.
Everybody does their job in a different way, and you very quickly start to realise that if you push something too far, then you're not actually going to get the right results. Even though you might be frustrated that person can't work 24 hours a day for 14 days at a time, you know, because you'd like them to, because so many people want to talk to them, so many people want them to do TV interviews. But the fact of the matter is, that's a human being that you're dealing with, and that human being is going to have a cracking point.
This is my limo train by Robbie Williams, age 25. I would like to travel down Santa Monica Boulevard and watch people as I pass by from a limousine and be all snug and warm in a hooded top as I look by and see raving Tinkerballs. All that was missing from that bloke was a pair of chaps with his bottom sticking out. I'm not kidding you.
As a music editor, I'm always being called up and being told, this band are going to be huge and the biggest thing in England, and you have to put this on the cover and you have to put this in the magazine. And most of the time, I'm very, very skeptical about it because it doesn't happen. Just by being British does not necessarily mean that it's going to translate over here. And I think for the media, they're so used to hearing same sanitized quotes and pop stars being really safe.
Wait a minute, what's this? Yeah.
He's fresh. I mean, he's always thinking of new ways to say stupid things.
Where'd you get that done? Canada?
Yeah.
Born to be mild. Oh, all right. Uh-huh.
Very Robbie.
What I would like to see happen in the next 2 to 3 months is for more of Rob's personality to come out on television and for them to see him as a personality as well as a musician.
This is Robbie Williams, Greg Kilmore.
Hi, Greg.
Thanks for doing the show.
It's a pleasure, man.
How you doing?
Nice to be here.
Hey.
How are you?
How do you do?
Right,
Teddy Bear. Yeah. So have a seat. That's where you haven't seen the show, have you?
No.
Coming up, the show with the most seamless launch in late night welcomes British music sensation Robbie Williams. And as always, Kilborn takes no prisoners. Someone's got to ask the tough questions.
You're hot. And then Ricky Martin. Is there a feud with Ricky Martin? What's going on here? You want to? I'm going to act like there's a feud, and you can say that it blew up, and then you can say
it's just kids stuff.
Right.
It's
okay,
just,
that's fine.
It's just kids handbags at 30.
Do you want to say something to Ricky right now if he's watching? Because yeah. And then you'll just say something.
The biggest obstacle that he has to overcome basically is that audiences have to understand the irony factor, and Americans tend to have an irony bypass.
What are those things called? They were your canapes.
I think some people will think he's a smartass and they'll be put off, but I mean, a lot of what he does is very British. It's almost like Benny Hill. A lot of his humor, that's how it read to me. And I think Americans like that stuff.
Look, you know, this thing has blown out of proportion now. It's silly.
How did it start?
Well, you know, we were hanging out at the MTV Film Awards. And I didn't know, but he came up to me and through the medium of Latin dance.
Latin dance?
Yeah.
Latin dance.
He said, he went like this. Which means you've stolen my canapes. I did come to a phase where I'm thinking, what a bunch of pricks we all are that do this for a living, that sit there bitching about each other and being insecure about, well, he's bigger than me, or he's smaller than me, or her hair looks better than mine, or his bottom looks firmer than mine, and, you know, all that stuff that goes on. And I want to get out.
Yeah.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Ricky Martin thing worked.
Ricky worked. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did actually. I did, when it kept going to breaks, I was like, I don't know if I can keep being this funny. Don't go to a break, please don't go to a break. It might dip, it might nosedive.
Yeah, I mean, which you did.
Did it?
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, especially in the last bit, you were really shit.
Yeah. No, but we're your friends, we can say that.
Ow!
No, you were really funny.
Really funny.
Really, you were really funny.
Thanks, mate. The bit that's really consistent about my job, really consistent, is how much I enjoy writing the songs. As soon as they're written, you know, I play them to death and I'm bored of them, but that's the only consistent bit about using my head.
I think we have broken new ground here.
I think so.
8:15 on the Steve and Vicky Morning Show. Robbie Williams, our special guest this morning.
The rumor is that the reason that you left the band was because you were this kind of pig.
I think it's typically difficult for British artists to get over here. You know, in the UK, if your track's getting banged on Radio 1, you're in good shape. Here you've got, you know, hundreds of stations in, you know, hundreds of markets that all need to sort of decide collectively to support something.
Robbie, as I said, I listened to the album all weekend, and it's very enjoyable to listen to. Every song is great.
You've listened to it longer than I have.
Self-deprecation never hurt, did it?
There we go.
In this business.
Yeah.
What we do at KISS and with Top 40 Radio, we look to play hit records. If they're hit songs, it doesn't matter where they're done or where they come out of, we're looking to play them.
Well, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but every song on this album that's been released here in North America.
Please blow smoke up my ass. No one's done that before.
I know that when you're dealing with the pop culture, we're talking about shooting stars. A handful of those artists go through and make it as real stars. And again, when you're dealing with the pop culture, what makes up the pop culture? It's a lot of one-hit wonders.
Nice. It should be good, but it's crap.
Okay, let's do it from ours.
There's such a history, you know, over the last few years, but, you know, certainly in the history of, you know, popular music, that for an artist to have success on one track and disappear. So to the point where success on an early track can be a bit of an albatross. And people sometimes don't recover from their own success. So what we would like to do is have success with a series of singles, you know, from his record, and to sell, you know, millions of albums and set him up for what comes next.
It's called Millennium. It's huge. It's Robbie Williams live in the Star Lounge at Star 98.7. Next, hang on.
Hi, this is Robbie Williams, and this is Mix Music.
I'm Robbie Williams. When I'm in Toronto...
Hi, this is Robbie Williams. You're listening to CKMF 94.
I'm Robbie Williams, and you're listening to today's hit music. Hi, this is Robbie Williams, and I believe in the Chum City Christmas wish. You know, in England, chums dog food.
Yes, everyone from England comes here and tells us that.
Is this live?
Yes, it's live.
Am
Yeah.
I talking to people now?
Yeah,
I thought we were just conversing like everyday chaps in the street.
Every radio station wants you to do something ridiculous, and you know they all feel that they should have this, or we're spinning the record. The whole, you know, that's intrinsically what is wrong with radio. They work with a disc, They don't actually have hands-on with the artist involved. So they're doing whatever they can do to sell this artist, to get this artist airplay. It's just not, it almost dehumanizes the whole process.
Again, can't seem to get hold of you. Keep trying, but with great difficulty. Anyway, you seem to be all right because you've rang Sally and let her know that you're okay. Can you let me know exactly when you're coming home? You know, so I can be prepared for you. And speak to you later, son. Love you very. Ta-da.
LA lends itself to anything you want to do there. You know, I think my first trip to America revolved around tequila and strippers, that in LA, you know, and it's not, I'm not saying I'm proud of that, but that's what happened. It was just like, went to do a show, then went to an after show party of my own in a studio where we recorded some songs, drank a lot of tequila, got off with 2 strippers, you know, and that's your perfect rock and roll evening. To me, that was, you know, I've done it.
Okay, so let's go again with that section, and then we need to run through it. Carol, get them going.
At these awards ceremonies, you're already there. You know what I mean? You're already waiting there. And then they get you to get in a limo at the back of the venue and drive round and pull up at the red carpet and go in where all the paparazzi are. Now, I don't do that in Europe because I think it's tossy, you know. But for some reason, I did it in America. Even my choreographer did it in a limo. She, you know, the whole 9 yards, she got in a limo and was introduced over the tannoy as Robbie Williams' choreographer and got out of a limo and did the wave and stuff. Bollocks. You know, load of bollocks.
Then after we're 4 bars into the musical change, which is the lamba.
I haven't got a clue what you're on about. You know when we run through it?
This is for the girls, so we know the steps.
All right. If you could just point at me and
we
say
will.
Go over there.
Okay.
It was nice affirmation that they wanted me on a big show. Nice to be wanted, but it's plastic tits. That's what it's about, you know. And studio sets have these big, massive sets with nothing at the back of them, and that's what LA is about. That's what that TV show is about. That's what any award ceremony is about. Massive front, no backbone. So you cannot take it seriously. If you did, you know, you'd be very unhappy.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've got you. Okay, go on. Yeah, go on!
Hey, you know, if you men paid more attention to these instead of these, then maybe fewer of us would be dying of testicular cancer. So go and check them out.
Okay, and again. Come on. Just a little bit wider.
I do one of the gigs of my life in which many people turn up to tell me how good I was. Then we go to a rock and roll studio where I drink tequila and perform Who songs for a private crowd. Then I go back to a hotel. I'll leave the rest to your imagination there. Then I woke up. I came to a beach in Malibu. I put plastic breasts on and watched models playing volleyball. What did you do today?
It was a very rock and roll ending to a very exciting trip through America for me. It was nice to do something like that. Do an advert for charity that doesn't take itself too seriously and gets a message across. Fantastic. Plus, I'm on the beach with loads of girls with big tits.
In a bit, Ed.
Brilliant.
Walk in. Into camera, no, sorry, back on the line.
He genuinely enjoys his time over here right now because it's not the media insanity that it is back in the UK.
I went to LA and got a tip job.
He's huge where he is, so why would you want that immediately? You know, over here he can come comfortably and walk down the street and have a life and enjoy himself, hopefully.
Am I looking all right? Am I looking all right enough to do this?
You're beautiful.
Am I?
You're so beautiful.
Thank you, Gina. No, but am I, in all seriousness?
That's for camera.
Am I, in all seriousness?
Yeah, you're lovely.
Cool.
There's a lot of artists who've been immensely successful, like Robbie Williams has been, in the UK and in Europe, who've gone over to the US and given it the best shot. If it hasn't worked, they've continued to be successful in the territory and maybe even grown in stature. And you know, it's not worth putting names on them, but you know, you could name 15 or 20 major multi-platinum artists that have, you know, got careers of 10, 15 years that can fill stadiums in Europe that actually don't do much business in America.
So go and check them out.
Yeah, lovely.
It's that cheeky smile that gets him every time.
Anybody who's rooting against him will root against him every single step of the way. And so their report card's going to come out really early. In my mind, it's not going to come out till the end of the year, but it depends who you ask. You know, if Millennium doesn't do well, a lot of people are going to go, "But didn't work. Sorry. You know, hey, thanks. You know, this English thing just doesn't work over here. You know, what are you going to do?"
I see the way. Does an angel contemplate my fate?
I think that Robbie will either bomb spectacularly or he will be the hugest thing that this country's seen in a while. I don't see a lot of middle ground in there.
There's gonna be a big always failed thing there, but I haven't, you know, I'm doing all right and I've done my best and I'm very, very proud of myself for actually doing that and getting through it all. You know, everywhere I've been, people have smiled and liked me and played the record. You know, that's all I can do. Doesn't mean that the song Angels is a crap song. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make me a crap artist, you know.
I'm out in angels instead. Give me the chorus.
It'll be fantastic if he succeeds. And in terms of his entire life, it won't matter one bit that he doesn't. You just have to let him follow his nose. You know, I mean, I think this whole thing with him being in America, it's fascinating to watch how he responds, you know, to listening to American radio, to traveling in America, because it's all material for him.
Well, I've come home and I've been home like a week and a bit now, and I'm all right. I've got my big tally, got a PlayStation, got lots of music, and I've got a nice selection of friends that I'm building relationships with, and that's very important to me. The other day, I actually found myself opening a bill. When brown letters come through the door, I throw them away, because it means I've got to do something responsible with them. And it was a TV licence. I've got to pay £158 something pence for a TV licence. I opened it, I read it. The next step is doing something about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not there yet, but at least I opened it.
2:03 p.m. Hi Rob, it's your mum again. You may be out now, I'm not quite sure, but whatever, I just thought I'd give you another quick ring, and I've got another slant on the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the senility to forget the people I never liked anyway, the good fortune to run into the ones I do, and the eyesight to tell the difference. Speak to you later, son. Love you very. Ta-da. End of message.